As an entrepreneur, I have had a lot of failures. In my first year of business, I barely made any sales. Like, I couldn't even get to the $1,000 mark when I started my business. The mistake I did in my past was I purely relied on tactics and strategies. Right? I chased after strategy after strategy. I chased after the new tactics that were around in the internet, and I completely neglected my frequency or my state of consciousness. Now, throughout this video, I will use terms like consciousness, frequency, internal world, internal landscape. All of these terms are interchangeable, so don't get confused, right? So, many entrepreneurs, like I was, these entrepreneurs purely rely on action, right? They are too dependent, they are too consumed by the physical realm, they are too logical, they are too perfectionistic, right? And these entrepreneurs struggle a lot. And I don't mean that entrepreneurs do not succeed by taking pure action. I mean, there are many entrepreneurs who take action and succeed, right? But when you see these kinds of entrepreneurs, they have made many sacrifices, they have had enormous amount of struggle and hardships in their life, and their success is not because of the action that they took, but their success is because of their pure delusional belief that the action that they take will lead to success. They believed in it. They believed that taking action, taking enormous amount of action and hard work will yield in success. And so their belief was proven right for them, right? So for beginner entrepreneurs or for entrepreneurs who are making at least 5,000 or $10,000 per month, and when these kind of entrepreneurs see people who are making millions a month, there are two types of people, right? So when I first started out, there were entrepreneurs who were putting in 8 to 16 hours of work per day and they succeeded. But on the other side of the spectrum, there were entrepreneurs who didn't struggle, who could attract enormous amount of wealth pretty easily, and they didn't struggle a lot. They had the right mindset in mind, they had the right state of consciousness in mind, and they succeeded without any hardship or without any grind or hustle, right? So I was confused. On the one end, we have people who are putting in enormous amount of work and they're succeeding, but on the other end, they are taking action, but they are not putting in the 16-hour work days, but they are still successful, if not even more successful than the people who are working a lot. So I was confused, right? And if you're an entrepreneur who is making some amount of money, like making good amount of money, or even just starting out, you can see these big entrepreneurs, these people who are making millions a month, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, right? And some kind of people, some entrepreneurs are making this amount of money without putting in more work, without putting in more effort. How is that possible? It is possible because they have that frequency aligned with their goal, right? When you have the right frequency, when you have the right state of consciousness, struggle is not needed. The grind set is not needed. The hustle is not needed. Hard work is not needed, right? Many people, many entrepreneurs think that they need to work hard in order to be successful, in order to reach those high numbers. But that in itself is a belief that you have. It is a limiting belief that you possess, and that belief is ruling your life. So since you have the belief, you have to put in tremendous amount of work in order to be successful. But if you change that belief internally, and once you rewire that belief into something more positive, so let's say that you don't need to work hard in order to be successful. You can just take the right amount of action and yield tremendous amount of results. If you put in that belief instead of the belief that you need to work hard in order to be successful, then you can be those $1 million entrepreneurs who are making tremendous amount of money without putting in much work, right? Now, taking action and work is different. Struggling is a different, right? You don't need to struggle. You don't need to put in hard work. That's the difference between taking the right action and taking enormous amount of action in order to be successful. So, how do you take right action? You need to be in the right frequency. So, how do you be in the right frequency? For that, we need to understand what manifestation is, how reality creation works, right? So let's define what manifestation is. Manifestation is nothing but you changing your internal landscape in order to shape your external reality. What do I mean by internal landscape? Your internal landscape consists of your emotions, your thoughts, your attention, your identity, your beliefs, your perception. All of this are pillars of your frequency, right? So I have many videos that dissects each one of these pillars, right? So you can check out my other videos if you want to work on these independently, or you can check out the link in the description. But if you want to work all of this at once, if you need to work on a frequency directly, then you need to start thinking about not what to do, but who you need to be. Whenever you face a problem, whenever a difficult situation arises, many people, 99% of people in this world, think on what I need to do in order to come up with a solution for this problem, right? But that is the wrong way of doing things, right? You don't think about what you need to do, you just need to think about who you need to be, right? Because when you think about what you need to do, then you don't know the right solution, you don't know the right action, right? But your highest version of yourself always know the right solution to the right problem. So you need to tap into your intuition so that you can ask your higher version on what you need to do. For that, you need to be in the right frequency. For you to be in the right frequency, you just need to ask yourself, who do I need to be in order to solve this problem? If you're an entrepreneur, you might have a financial goal. If you are not an entrepreneur, if you're a person who is going to a 9 to 5 job, like whoever you may be, you will have a certain goal and desires, right? So success might mean something to you and it might mean different to me. So define what success means to you. So write down, so take a piece of paper and write down what success means to you. Is it being financially free? Is it having great relationships? Is it being peaceful? Is it attaining enlightenment? Is it attaining moksha? Is it just living a stress-free life? Like what does success mean to you for you? Right? Because success is subjective. Success means differently for many people. Right? So take a piece of paper and write down what success means to you. Pause this video and go and do it. So once you've done it, now define how does your journey should look like. Do you want your journey to be of hard work, 16-hour work days, to be of struggle, of sacrifices? Do you want that journey? Or do you want a journey of effortlessness, of flow? Do you want a journey where you're peaceful and you're enjoying the ride? What do you want? How do you want your journey to be? So write that down. Do you want your journey to be easygoing, to be at flow, to be in peace, to just enjoy the ride, to enjoy the process, to enjoy life? Or do you want your life to be of sacrifices, of hard work, of having the grind set, of having the hustle mindset, whatever it's called nowadays? Like there's no right answer to this, right? If you firmly believe that hard work is the only path to success, then of course you believe in it, and that will be true in your reality. There are 8 billion people in this world, so there are 8 billion worlds that coexist within this planet. So if you firmly believe that hard work is the only path to success, then yeah, write that down. But if you believe that there's an alternative version, if you want a life, a journey of pure flow, of pure peacefulness, of pure bliss, of pure joy, like you don't need to be successful in order to feel joy, happiness, and bliss. You can achieve those feelings right now at this moment, right? So just write down what kind of journey that you want to have. So once you have written down what journey you want to have, once you have made the decision on what journey you want to have, then now you need to start working on a frequency, because you need to start working on an internal world to shape an external reality. If you have written down that you need to put in more work, put in more effort, put in more hustle, then of course take in more action. This video is not for you. But if you are but if you do not align with that kind of world, if you want a journey of pure flow and you want to attract more amount of wealth without putting in 16 hours of work days, without putting in hard work, then you need to start reprogramming your internal frequency. How do you do that? A simple question that you need to ask yourself is, who am I being at this present moment? Right? So here's another exercise. Write down the characteristics, the attributes, the character traits, whatever you may call them. Write down who your highest version is. Right? Now, if you're making $10,000 per month, but you want to make $1,000,000 per month, then write down that version of yourself. How does he act? At what time does he wake up? What habits does he have? Does he have any addictions? What type of behavior does he possess? Is he disciplined? Write down every single character trait that you can think of and put it down on a piece of paper. Do it right now. If you want this video to work, if you want if you want to take the right action, then this is the right time. This video, this channel is not just you mindlessly consuming content. If I tell you to do something, then just do it, right? So take a piece of paper and write down every single minute detailed characteristics that you can think of your highest version. And I trust you have done it. And once you've done it, the next exercise that I want you to do is write down every single activity that you do from the moment you wake up till the moment you fall asleep. In your typical day, what are the activities that you do? You wake up, you brush your teeth, you might take a bath, you might meditate, you might go to gym, you might work, whatever activities that you do. Write it down in minute detail from the time you wake up till the time you fall asleep. And once you have written down all the activities, all the small, teeny tiny activities that you do a day, just check, does this align with the highest version of myself, or does this align to my old frequency? If you consume mindless content on the internet, and if that is an activity in your list of activities that you do per day, then just ask yourself if that particular activity does it align to my highest version. If not, eliminate it and replace it with a habit or a behavior that corresponds to your highest version. Right? What we are essentially doing here is we are closing the gap between your old frequency and your new frequency. Right? This is a physical plane, so you still need to take action. You are a physical being. Manifestation is not just about thinking about something and just magically making things appear in front of you. That is not what manifestation is. If you believe it is, then you are plain wrong. You are wrong. There are subjective aspects to reality and there are objective aspects to reality. You are living in a physical plane. How much ever you believe you may fly, you will not fly in this third dimensional realm. There are some constraints that are applicable to this physical realm, right? And how much ever you may believe in a certain thing, does that belief must align with the universal laws that are in place, right? So why did I go off topic? So yeah, so we are closing in the gap between your old frequency and your new frequency. For that, you need to list out all the activities that you do in a day and just eliminate the activities that corresponds, that aligns with the old frequency and replace it with a new frequency. If you have been doing a bad habit, if you have been fapping, or if you have been, I don't know, if you have been using your phone too much, if you have been gaming, like I'm not saying these habits cannot exist with the highest version of yourself. But when you wrote down the attributes and characteristics of the highest version, just check whether those qualities and attributes that you think, that you believe is your highest version. Do you think these activities that you do per day, does that align with the highest version of yourself? If it doesn't, if you know deep in your heart that what you are doing does not align with your highest version, eliminate it rapidly. Because the more time you spend doing the things that reflect your old frequency, the more does it mean that you're still stuck with the old frequency. You can't have two frequencies at once. You can't sit in two chairs at once. You can either be in your new frequency or you can be in your old frequency, right? So replace all the activities that you do from the perspective of your old frequency and replace it with activities that you can start doing that reflects your new state, your new frequency, your highest version, right? And the best way to know exactly what you need to do is ask yourself, who am I being in this present moment, right? And once you shift your new frequency, the old habits that you are doing, they will call you. You will crave it. Your mind will still go towards your frequency. But at that moment, you need to be aware of it, and you just need to ask yourself, who am I being in this present moment? If I am being the $1,000,000 version of myself, would I go and do that bad habit? I wouldn't do it, right? So throughout your day, several times in random occasions, ask yourself, who am I being in this present moment? If you have been doom scrolling on social media, then catch yourself and ask, who am I being in this present moment? Oh my god, I have been doom scrolling. I shouldn't do. I am not that person. I am not the $1,000,000 version of myself if I doom scroll. So you make a conscious effort. You stop, you turn off your mobile and you go and do something productive, or you can just meditate, right? Any activity that aligns with your highest version, you can do it. It doesn't mean that you need to work hard, you need to put in 16 hours per day. That is not the goal over here. Once you perfectly align with your highest version, you will do the right action automatically. If your business consists of posting videos on YouTube, like how I am doing, right? Then you will do it automatically because you know you are being the highest version of myself. In this moment, in this second where I am recording this video, I am being my $1 million version. Because even after I make $1 million a month, even if I make even if I become a billionaire, I would still be recording videos. Because this is what I like, this is what I like to teach, right? So you need to fill your day with activities that reflect your highest version. And whenever you face a problem, whenever there's a decision that you need to take, you can ask the same question: who am I being in the present moment? If I am being the $1 million version, how would he react? If you were the $1 million version, would you hang out with the same people that you're hanging out with today? Would you be doing the same things that you're doing today? Would you procrastinate? Would you be consistent or would you be non-consistent? Would you be disciplined? Right? The more you align yourself with the highest version, the more the old frequency fades away. Right? Just being aware, just being conscious is enough for you to turn your life around. That is how I turned my life around. That is how I found my love. That is how I made my money. That is how all positive aspects that is there in my life, it is because of awareness. It is me consciously asking, okay, who am I being now? Each second, each minute, every day, you are manifesting. The current life you're living in, you're already manifesting it, right? Whatever emotions, thoughts, attention, identity, perception that you emit to the world, it will be reflected after a certain point in time, right? So when you ask who am I being today, you can ask what emotions am I emitting? Where does my attention flow? What identity do I possess? What thoughts do I engage in? If you keep engaging in thoughts where you feel like a failure, where doubt creeps in, then just ask, are these the thoughts that I would have if I was the $1 million version of myself? If not, then stop engaging in those thoughts. Let, let those thoughts come up, let yourself feel those thoughts, and it will fade away. Right? If you have been emitting lack, worry, stress, anxiousness, anger, hate, if you have been emitting these negative emotions, then that means you're still stuck to your old frequency. Because whoever you may be, your highest version will consist of emotions that are only positive: bliss, happiness, joy, peace, relaxation, right? If you have been emitting negative emotions and if you're stuck with it, I'm not saying even if you're your highest version of yourself, even if your highest version of yourself, you may still feel those negative emotions. But the subtle difference between your old frequency and your new frequency is you let those emotions pop up, you let yourself feel it, and it will fade away. But if you're stuck in your old frequency, you will get stuck with those old emotions, those negative emotions, and you will persist in it, right? So every day, if you have been emitting negative emotions, then ask yourself, am I actually being the $1 million version of myself? Now, if you have been making $10,000 per month and you want to make $100,000 per month, then then ask yourself, who am I being? Am I being the person who is already making $100,000 per month? Does your emotions, your identity, your attention, your perception, are these pillars of a frequency directly aligned with your desire? If not, then check out the link in the description where I can help you personally, right? Or you can figure it out yourself. You can just keep watching my videos, or you can just ask yourself, who am I being? Because you have already written down the characteristics and attributes of your desired version of yourself, right? So just take those attributes and start incorporating it to the day-to-day life. Does your highest version eat junk food? Does your highest version waste time, procrastinate? No, he wouldn't, right? So why do you do it? You engage with these unconscious processes, you engage with these undesired behaviors. It is because you're not aware. It is because you are an autopilot. Because if you're truly aware, you wouldn't do it. Whatever bad habit you may have, if you are truly aware that you are engaging that bad habit, you would not do it. Unless you convince yourself that it is okay to do it. But if you are truly aware, you wouldn't do it. You can't do it. That is how you break an addiction. That is how you break a bad habit. by being truly aware of what you're doing. 99% of the time, whenever you engage in a bad habit, you are doing it because you're unconscious, right? So start being aware. Start asking yourself, where am I? Who I am? Who am I being at this moment? When you ask yourself these questions, which makes you aware, which makes you conscious, that is how you make manifestation, which is an unconscious process for many people, for majority of people. You make manifestation a conscious, creative choice. That is how you become the creator of your life rather than being the victim to circumstances outside of your control, right? So that's it from me. I just wanted to shoot this quick video because I'm just tired of seeing people blaming circumstances, blaming other people, blaming outside things that are not in control of themselves when the circumstances they are in, they created it. If you are in bad circumstances, if you cannot attain the goal that you want to attain, then that is because you are creating your reality, right? If you are either creating it consciously or you're creating it unconsciously. So be aware, be deliberate in what you do, and just be the highest version of yourself for majority of your time. I'm not saying you'll not revert back to your old ways. You can and you will, but if you're truly aware, you can immediately jump back to your new frequency. And the more you do it, the more those frequencies will fade away. Right? So that's it. Check out the link in the description if you want to work with me personally, or you can keep consuming this free stuff. You can subscribe, or you can't subscribe. Like whatever you want to do, you can do it. So I will see you in another video.